In this video I'll show you a build that can run a full trial in less than 8 minutes for as little as 1 divine, as well as some tips and tricks that might help you. But before any of that, why would you even do the trial? Well, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to play 0 DPS and EHP build that is still somehow viable and competitive. Also, it's not that expensive, so it can make you a lot of money. Hey, 4 divines! The build is Void Sphere, Stormbrand, CI Elementalist that uses chill, curses and knockback to disable most enemies while they're just sitting there humping their totems. For defenses, we run max block, spell dodge and 90% evasion. One thing to point out, dodging or evading an attack or spell while breaking a totem won't stun us, but blocking it will. Although that stun doesn't really work as intended, we'll talk about this later. You can play any Ascendancy, but the Elementalist has an advantage with the gigachill effect. If you're lazy to level, you could also play Raider or Pathfinder. Similar in build, but you won't have the chill effect. Before showing you the some extra notes I want to add up. The budget for the build you're going to see is around 5 divines, but you can run this efficiently for as low as 1 divine, so next to no money, and you're gonna make a lot more from the trials. For Major God, you go with Soul of Lunaris for the chance to avoid projectiles. And Minor God, really nothing is useful here. You could go with this. The Fire guy in the trial leaves Trail of Fire, but it doesn't get affected by this. So this is just pretty much useless, but whatever, better than nothing, I guess. Actually, it's literally not, don't pick it. Now for skill gems. Main 6-link is the one for the Void Sphere, and here you just aim to get as much AoE and duration as possible. That's the purpose of Enhance as well. The one optional gem is this one. You can just replace this with really whatever you want. So technically you could run this with a 5-link. Now for the second skill, we're running Stormbrand, and again we're increasing its range, as well as giving it knockback and stronger ailments. Also giving it the capacity to chain and more duration. Our curses of choice are Temporal Chains, which is the main curse, and Enfeeble, which just gives the enemies less accuracy, helps us with the evasion. My movement skill of choice is Flame Dash. You can pick Frostblink as well, doesn't matter. With faster casting, it helps a little bit. Here we have Phase Run with increased duration. I chose to add a Golem as well with knockback support. It's not necessary, but if you want, you can run it. This guy just gives you 9% cast speed on top of everything, so it's not bad. For auras, we have Haste, Grace, which are mandatory. You need these both. Defiance Banner is optional, you add it if you have the room for it. Now, Aspect of the Fighter is very nice as well, because we have a lot of increased AoE from the tree and from the items, so this guy is going to be pretty big and helpful. In the tree, we're aiming to pick as much Curse Effect, increased duration, evasion, and spell suppression as possible. All these help a lot. In the right bottom side of the tree, we're picking increased duration, and pretty much most of our spell suppression is coming from here. Also, you have to pick acrobatics to convert half of your spell suppression into spell dodge. On the top side of the tree, main thing, we're picking a brutal restraint that's giving us this keystone, which allows us to run these 2 flasks right here, pretty much permanent. Also, we're running chill effect on these small nodes, which are pretty useful. If you don't chill for 40%, you might also pick stuff like this, or here more chill effect, or get abyssal jewels. You could get these sockets and get abyssal jewels with even more chill effect. Now, where you're gonna sink a little bit of currency is firstly this, which I really think you need. It gives you free onslaught, so it's gonna help. These nodes that give you increased effect of curses are doubled by this. So these 3 nodes give you 48% increased effect of curses. You don't need to go more than 3. I think these 3 here with this gem is enough. But I went for this, you don't need this. This and these 3 here is enough. Quickly going over the Ascendancy talents. The only one that matters is Shaper of Winter. This one increases our maximum chill to 40% and gives us an easier time to reach that with the more effect multiplier. These 2 you pick just for the 60% increased area of effect, and this allows you to deal a bit more damage, so you'll apply a bit stronger chill, as well as it's helping you kill the titanic shells faster, the ones that make the totems immune. I mean, you won't kill them because you deal next to no damage, but your minions will. Now, an option would be to drop these two, and maybe get these 2 points here, and get a lot of lightning golems. They're gonna give you a bunch of cast speed. You could also add knockback to them, but it's gonna be a lot of clutter on the screen, and I don't think you need this, so I choose to not go for it. Also, this is useless because you have negative resistances, and at rank 2000 everything is gonna one-shot you, so 2000 shield or whatever this is gonna give you, it's worth nothing. Also, you don't need to finish all the Ascendancy trials. I think 3 is enough. You just get this and these two. This is not necessary, but if you want to go for the absolute max gigachill build, get this as well, finish all 4 trials. Now ideally you finish the trials before switching to this build, because any trap is gonna one-shot you. The weapons are Widow Hail and Rearguard to get maximum block. If I remove this, we go down to 2% block, so this is pretty much our block in these 2 items right here. You don't need this to be max roll. Just make sure that the spell block is highest roll. The attack block is not that important on this, just don't get it super low. Something above 22 should be fine. Now for the helm, I needed a rare item to add Aspect of the Spider on, as well as some increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. So you're just spamming Essences of Loathing until you get increased energy shield of any form, and you just craft Aspect of the Spider with the beast on top. And then you add the Eldritch modifiers to give you more chill effect and more temporal chains effect. Ideally, you also use a base with energy shield, and you could buy one with the enchant as well. It's not going to be very expensive. I got this one for like 1 divine for the base. For the body armor, I went with another rare item that has spell suppression and a lot of evasion. The advantage of using a rare item is that you can get the Eldritch implicits with the curse effect and whatever else you need on the other one. An alternative to this would be the perfect form, which gives a lot more spell suppression as well as acrobatics for free, but you cannot add Eldritch implicits on it. So even though you save some talent points from getting a lot of free spell suppression from the armor, so you don't have to go as deep into spell suppression in the 3, you're gonna still sacrifice the talents to get the effect of the curses, so it's up to you. I went with a rare item. For gloves, we're going with these for increased knockback distance. Nothing else works. Also the strength is nice, you'll need this for the gems. These boots for the chance to block spell damage. This amulet for the movement speed and increased area of effect. We're anointing Potency of Will for the increased duration. 2 marks of submission to apply our 2 curses on hit. So you put the curses, the enfeeble and the temporal chains on these sockets. To craft a belt like this, you just buy the base with 20% increased effect of flasks. The downside doesn't affect us whatsoever. And you just spam Essences of Horror on it for the Alchemist Genius. And if you're lucky, you'll get something like I got on this with reduced flask charges used. For this strategy, position your units in the flanker and escort roles, and after you fill those up, you can get some attackers. You go in the middle, use the Void Sphere, then dash towards the back line and drop some Stormbrands to defend you while you start breaking their totems. Also make sure to replace the Void Sphere whenever needed. Don't waste too much time buying units. I only go once every 3 turns, but if you need, you can go more often than that. The units you buy don't really matter, just make sure you don't get any of the guys that explode, because you need your units to channel on the totem and nothing else. Now, one helpful unit would be the Caldera Ravager. This guy is gonna help you kill the Titanic Shell in case it started the cast, and you cannot stop it until you kill it. Also, Ahuana is your waifu, leave her for last if you can. She has the best loot.